Hello pioneers, we are going to have a look today at the different types of sentences. So listen carefully, and then once you have watched this video you can complete your activities. So types of sentences, we get 4 main types of sentences, and those are statements, questions, commands, and exclamations. So we're going to work through each of those, and I'm going to give you some examples. First one we have is a statement. So as it says there, statements are sentences which tell you a fact, opinion, or idea. And an example is a rainbow has 7 colors. They are beautiful to look at. Also, one thing to notice with a statement is the punctuation that they use. So usually it's just a sentence with a full stop at the end. So stating a fact, an opinion, or an idea. So that's our statements. The second type of sentence we get is a question. We all know these types of ones because you use them in your writing. Question is a sentence that asks you something, and it usually ends with a question mark. The example there is, what did you have for dinner? Notice the punctuation at the end is the question mark. And if you have a look, I've put down the bottom some of our question words that would be in the beginning of our question sentences. For example, we have who, what, why, when, where, how much, and do. One thing to be mindful of or to remember, those words might be used in the beginning of a sentence, but it doesn't always mean that it will definitely be a question. I will show you an example in a moment. So we've done statements and we've done questions. The next one, can you remember, was commands. They are often urgent or angry, can be very short, and contain an imperative verb. Commands, imperative verbs, are also known as bossy verbs. So these are the verbs or the doing words that tell people what to do. And an example there is, help me, stop it. Punctuation for a command, you might see an exclamation mark or a full stop, and usually they could be short and sharp sentences, but not always. It's not the only rule. Okay, so we've done statements, questions, commands, and lastly we'll look at an exclamation. So an exclamation is used when someone is surprised. It always starts with how, what, and contains a noun and a verb. So remember, a noun is a naming word, so the thing or a person or a place, and the verb is the doing word. An example there is, what big feet you have, and an exclamation ends with an exclamation mark. But remember, a command can also have an exclamation mark at the end, but it doesn't mean that it is an exclamation sentence. All right, so we've done the 4 different types of sentences. The next job for you to do is to go back to your slides, choose your challenge. So there's either a mild or a spicy challenge. It might help when you're identifying the sentences to read them out loud to yourself. Once you've done your challenge, you can move on and try their 3 test questions and then check your answers. So if you go to your slides, there we go, with your explanation. So you're watching the video now, then you'll go back once you finish this video to this slide over here and choose your challenge. Like I said, read them out to yourself, which will help hopefully identifying the different types of sentences. And there is a little learning reminder to remind you which types of sentences there are, as well as the punctuation that they end in. And then the test style questions, you will need to tick 1 for this question. Be careful on this one. Now these are quite tricky. You know, in a test they always try to catch you out, so it's good to practice these. Tick 1 box in each row to show whether the sentence is a question or a command. And if you notice, all of these start with do, 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 do. And remember I said do could be a question word, but not necessarily, because you've got command here too. So read them out loud and think carefully about those. This one, read the question very carefully before you answer. Okay, that's it. Good luck. Have fun.